We are taking you to the Roaring '20s via a riveting true crime novel filled with power, politics, secrets, and scandal. It's called Broadway Butterfly, a thriller. It's based on one of the most notorious unsolved murders of the era. Joining us right now is author Sara DiVello. She is also the founder and on-air host of Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Nice to have you on Good Day New York.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
So you love true crimes, don't you?
I love true crime. I mean, I grew up, I was a Nancy Drew girl. I've always loved mysteries and thrillers, but I love that true crime is too crazy to make up. You go with the facts and you never go wrong.
I love it. So tell me about Broadway Butterfly. How did this come across your desk?
Oh my gosh. So I host a mystery and thriller mavens. I interview these authors. I'm a lifelong lover of the genre, but I never thought that I would write one. I was home for Thanksgiving. I was touring one of these grand estates from the 1920s, and I found out that this estate, which was the third largest home in the country, bigger than the White House even.
Where was it?
In Philadelphia, where my family is. And it was connected to a murder of the most beautiful woman in Manhattan, a scandalous flapper named Dot King in 1923. And I knew immediately that was a story I had to tell.
All right, so why was it never solved? I mean, obviously at the time you said she was the most glamorous woman. I'm sure it got a lot of attention. They didn't have social media back then, but I'm sure it got a lot of attention, right?
Oh, Rosanna, it was front page news, not only nationwide, but internationally, because the tentacles of this case reached from the underbelly of Broadway, from the gangster underworld, all the way up to the White House. And so it was searing across the front pages of every newspaper, radio station. I mean, it was front page news for months.
What kind of research goes into a book like this?
I spent 9 years of my life in the bowels of the New York Public Library, in the Milstein microfilm room, paging through rolls of microfilm, reading the articles of Julia Hartman, who was the lead crime reporter in New York City. She worked at the New York Daily News and pretty much the country, and she was the lead crime reporter who covered this. So I read all of her articles as well as everything I could get my hands on. I amassed 1,700 pieces of research.
Wow.
I was at the Columbia University Rare Books Collection, University of Pennsylvania Rare Books, the J.P. Morgan Library and Museum Rare Books Collection. I mean, I was everywhere. My research took me to some far-flung and fascinating places.
So Julia is one of the voices, one of the characters in Broadway Butterfly.
Yes.
And then tell me about the other characters.
So the other characters are Detective John D. Coughlin. He was the head of the NYPD Detectives Unit, and he's the lead investigator on this case. And then Ella Bradford, who was the closest friend, confidant, and keeper of all of the secrets of the murder victim, of Dot King. And then the fourth point of view is Frances Stotesbury, who was the daughter of one of J.P. Morgan's founding partners in Philadelphia, the daughter of the wealthiest man in Pennsylvania, and one of the four most powerful women in society, which was the celebrity of the time, that wealthiest echelon of society in the Gilded Age.
You know what else I love about Broadway Butterfly? Is that you kind of give us a little history lesson of New York. You know, I love New York. I was born here, but there's so many things I don't know about this town and the historical aspects. What was the most fun for you?
I love New York too, and this is New York at its most fabulous, its most glamorous. This is the heyday of the Roaring '20s. These are the days of speakeasies and jazz clubs. Flappers are wearing their pearls.
I see you brought us some pearls today.
Their long cigarettes. You know,
the days when they didn't care about, you know, cancer.
You didn't care about cancer. You were busy dancing the Charleston.
Exactly.
And it was fun. It was fabulous. It was glamorous, and it is just so much fun to write, and it's so much fun to read. This is a true crime novel, so everything in it is true. These are real people whose lives are fascinating and fabulous, but it reads like a novel, and it's so fun to immerse yourself in this fun, fabulous time.
All right, I see you brought other little fun things for us. What's with the sugar daddies?
So, Rosanna, it is crazy, but the term sugar daddy and sugar baby only exists in our cultural vernacular today because of this case. We only have these terms, we only have these words because of Dot King, who was the original sugar baby, and her sugar daddy, who is one of the two suspects in her murder.
Wow. I see you have historical photos.
Yes, yes.
So
this is Julia Hartman, and
she's the one in the middle.
She's the one in the middle. So
yeah.
She's the lead crime reporter at the New York Daily News. This is her editor, Philip Payne, who was the editor-in-chief there. And this is her husband, Westbrook Pegler, who was also a reporter at the United News. And here they are hanging out in a snowstorm.
Fantastic. I love those photos. What else do you have?
This is Dot King. So
Dot.
she was the most beautiful. She was known as the most beautiful woman in Manhattan. She was a professional model, and she was always seen wearing furs and draped in jewels and going to the most fabulous clubs and speakeasies. This is her roommate until 2 weeks before the murder. Otherwise, we might have had a double homicide on our hands.
Oh, I was wondering if she had anything to do with the murder. No?
You got to read the book to find out. You got to read the book to find out. This is Hilda Ferguson. She went on to be a Follies girl. She was known as one of the most beautiful women in New York City. This is Ella Bradford, Dot's closest friend, confidant, the keeper of all of her secrets. And here we have Hilda in her Follies costume.
Wow. So let me ask you something, Sarah. Do you solve the murder mystery?
I think I know who did it, and Booklist said I give readers everything they need to know to draw their own conclusions.
So you kind of lead us down the road.
I lead you down the road.
I love it. Broadway Butterfly out right now. It's a thriller. It'll teach you about New York and just take you on a wonderful journey. So nice to meet you, Sarah.
So wonderful to be here, Rosanna. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good Day's coming right back.